Just out here checking my cables. There's a couple of deer in the field right there. You can see them in the snow, stick out like a sore thumb. There's another one up on the hill there. I can see him just about. That's funny. You see them right there in the center of the screen. Just eating, picking up pieces of corn. Oh, that's a big deer on top of the hill there. There's one just coming up over the horizon. Right there. That's a big one. Good to see the deer out. No catches tonight. A bit of bad luck here this morning. I'm not going too far, but you can see the fox tracks right here on the ground. He actually came from across this way. He came right through this little trail I made here. I had brushed it off. Actually, you can see his footprint right there. And then past here. There it is again. There it is again. There it is again. But unfortunately, a deer had already pulled my snare down. Pulled out of the loop. The snare, you can see the rod was right there. I had it right over that trail, and the freaking deer got to it before the fox did. Oh, more bad luck. Oh well, I'll reset it. Maybe he'll come back. I'm on another trap check here. Snowing actually this morning. It's early in the morning. Sun is not just barely coming up. I'm trying to, but I found this in the snow. I thought I'd show you the trail here. You can see it here. Actually, this was covered with snow. This is where you can see here the little tunnel right there, where the mice and the shrews are traveling. There's another little hole right there. That's where they're traveling under the snow. Now, what had happened was it snowed and then the top melted off of it. But you can see the trail where they've been following. It goes up there. And if you come back this way, it goes out there. It goes all the way out here. Actually goes for quite a while. See deer tracks in the snow there. So this is where you see this fox digging in the snow. Look at, there's a trail. Goes for ages. Actually, there's fox tracks right there. This is the tracks from the fox that passed through my set the other day when the deer had kicked it down. That's it. Amazing. Look how much he traveled. You see here, it's like a spaghetti junction. They're out looking in this is a cut soybean field. So they're probably looking for soybeans that were left. But I thought that was pretty funny. You could actually see the trail where he was traveling around. Now, like I said, it had melted down. That was originally under the snow. You wouldn't have seen it, and then the snow melted down a little bit with the sun during the day. And it exposed the trail. Funny. Well, it's late January, and today it is freezing. And I can see I have a red fox in a cable up here. And I am freaking delighted. It's a nice one too. Here he is. Oh yeah, that's a good fox. That is a prime winter fox right there. Good one. Okay, let's get him. All right. Here he is, my first cable fox, red fox. Pretty small, looks like a young fox. But I don't care. I'm happy with him. Doesn't have any mange or anything. Has some burrs in his tail there, but other than that, he's not in bad condition. Waste caught him on the cable. He must have made it through the cable. A cable I had a little while because I was targeting coyote, but I'll take him as well. It's really, really cold today. It snowed all night last night. And it is cold today. I mean, brutal cold. It's in probably close to plus or minus 5 Fahrenheit. With wind chill, it's lower than that. Sarge, what do you think of the red dog? Huh? He doesn't care. Sarge, what do you think of the red dog? Actually, I caught the fox in the first place. I had that pull out, or that shoe out. Hey, watch out now! Don't touch him. I had the. What I did was I set the cable forward, but I pinned it back further so that he couldn't get entangled in anything, and it worked. Live More Outdoors done a good video recently about using shorter cables for fox, and that, you know, gives you a little, when you're dealing with short trails like what I was dealing with here, that's good. That's really good advice, because it gives you a little bit more room, and they don't destroy as much as your trail as a 5 foot, you know, a 5 foot cable would. But man, I'm tickled pink. I worked hard for that fox. I worked hard for that fox. This is the first fox I've ever caught after Christmas, and like I said, I've had nothing but misfortune. But this morning I got lucky and got myself a nice fox. Happy with that. You can actually see here how much the snow drifted last night, and this morning it was snowing. Here with the entranceway where the trail was here, there's 1.5 foot of snow there. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Okay, I gotta put my glove back on, my hand is starting to freeze. You can see here how my Black Panther buddy, my chipmunk killer, cat prints. Look at that. He actually walked right. There's no mark in the snow where he like belly brushed underneath it. He stepped through that hoop and continued on out the other side. He actually stepped right through it. Isn't that funny? Didn't even brush it. Okay. Took a little walk looking for trails, but most of the trails are covered. The snow is drifting now. You can see it on the trail here behind me, the tractor pad. It snowed last night, a couple inches, and then now it's like the ground was already frozen. Now it's drifting. The wind is howling across the hill here. Put the old Dodge here in 4-wheel drive, and I'm gonna try and put a foothold set down in here along the edge of the path. I've been seeing a lot of fox and coyote tracks crisscrossing the open top of the hill here, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. The ground is it's like concrete. It's really frozen now. But I'm gonna say I have some like dry grass, and I have peat moss with me. Maybe I'll be able to put a foothold in. I already dug it out, the snow. It's drifting this way, prevailing wind is this way, but like I said, I've been seeing the coyote tracks right out in the open. I have them coming across the field here, coming up from the farmhouse this way, coming across this way. They're coming up the hedgerow and then coming this way. There's no point in me putting a cable up out here because they can just roam anywhere they want, so I need something like to attract them to a spot. So we'll give it a try. I have some Joe Young's like late winter bait, like a skunk based bait. So it's got some quite strong smell to it. And we'll try it and see what happens. I have a tire at work. I was gonna put a tire set out, and I might do that still. I wanted the tire to dry off though, so it wouldn't freeze. But I just checked the temperature inside the cabin. It's 7 degrees Fahrenheit. But out here it's way less than that with the wind. That wind is brutal. Okay, let's get to set this trap, and we'll get away. I don't know what the audio is going to be like on this because it's windy. I mean, not windy. I tried to park the truck between me and the wind. I want to attempt the impossible here and try and dig a dirt hole. You can see where I cleared the trench there. Hey, watch out. See where I cleared the trench there. Snow is drifting this way. See where the snow is drifted up behind it. But I've seen fox tracks coming into this. Boy, sniffing the camera. Oh, you're cold. I've seen fox tracks 3 times already come to this spot because it's a break right here where I'm sitting. Is where the soybean field field used to start and the cornfield would start then on the opposite side of it. And there's a big tuft of grass here, and I think they've been scent marking it. I could be wrong. It's hard to tell because with the drift snow, you know, it's covering stuff up. You can see behind me here, you can see the snow wisping across the field there. Look at it with the wind. Pretty bad conditions, but we're still out making an effort. Did you pee on that set yet? I'm getting advice from a canine here, and an expert. So what I'm going to do now is try and chop this ground out. When I do that, I'll turn you back on. What? Sniffing the dirt? Oh, it's frozen all the way down. Get our trap. Okay, it's a little less windy today. Yeah, the video I shot didn't come out yesterday, so I'm going to redo it. Here's my dirt hole in the snow here, you can see it behind me. It drifted in a little bit. I do have calcium chloride over the set, so the snow over the set is kind of slushy. But of course the wind drifted it in. Where I'm standing now is like hard packed. It's packed pretty good. It covered all my footsteps, and now I can walk on it without sinking in it. But okay, I have a couple of different baits in the hole. I have Epler Triple Slam from Epler Fur from Matt Brophy. I have a bait that I got from Joe Young's Bait and Lure for my trapping giveaway. It's a Sawmill Creek bait. It's Final Step. It's skunk odor. It's a pretty potent odor, which you want in this like freezing type conditions. Now away from the set, just a little bit,
I have fox call number 200 from Murray's, which is a strong scent too. In the wintertime, they recommend using it at the set. In milder fall type conditions, they recommend you using it away from the set. So I have that over here. And on a little twig I have stuck in the side of the hill, there's a little dab of Gusto. And then I also used a couple of drops of Joe Young's K1, which is another, like a lure. Not a bait, it's a lure. So I've seen fox tracks come into this spot. Now you can see it's a high spot because there's 2 feet of snow drifted up behind it that came off the crop fields from this side. So all the snow is drifting this way. But the wind does change. Some days it's blown this way, other days it's blown directly from the corner of the field right towards me. So it can switch around, but I did put quite a bit of scent. I used a little bit of coyote urine too, right on top of the snow. I got a video recently from the snare shop, and it was showing you a lot of like trail camera footage and video of how animals react at a set. It was pretty good actually. They showed you how to basically, how to make this type of set, how to make a flat set, how to make a dirt hole set, water trapping and stuff like that too. But it showed a lot of video footage of how animals react at a particular set. So they had one where it was on a tractor trail just like this. Now they were in probably Midwest, Missouri, I think it was. And they had coyotes moving up and down the set. And I would say 9 out of 10 coyotes that came to investigate that set. Some of them just circled it. Other ones would come and paw at it and dig at it a little bit. There was no trap. It was just a dirt hole with bait. And they would come out and dig at it a little bit. But 9 out of 10 of them urinated on that set. They'd come to the back side, the high side of the set, and they'd urinate on it. And then they'd be on their way. So they always came to investigate it. And they always urinated on it. Now, I had read somewhere that a red fox buries bait in the ground. He'll bury the bait, but he won't scent mark it. Now, if he then returns to that spot and takes the bait out of the ground, then he will urinate on it. He will scent mark it. So, do you use urine at a scent or at a dirt hole set, or don't you? That's up for debate. A lot of guys do. Some guys don't. Some guys do. Scent the tractor, I guess. I'm also thinking too that was Murray's coyote urine that I used. Pretty strong odor to that, trust me. But it might give them a twig that, now you see the wind is coming this way towards me now, so it's actually blown away from the set across the open fields. But it might give them like a territorial type, oh, there's another coyote moving into my patch. I don't care as long as he comes to the set. Coyotes here are really suspicious. They're suspicious of everything. They've been persecuted for 200 years, so they're kind of cagey with anything to do with humans. So they're suspicious of it. But I have been seeing tracks coming across this field, and out in the open, fox and coyote. So we'll see. We'll see if it produces or not. I'm not going to go too near it, but I kind of layered it. This is pretty much kind of taking a leaf from the old Montana wolf trapper here. Go check out his channel. It's awesome. What I did was I pancake layered it. I put a layer of peat moss. After I chiseled the dirt out, I put a layer of peat moss down. I put a layer of calcium chloride. I bedded my trap. Put another layer of peat moss on top of that. Another layer of calcium chloride. I dusted it with snow, which I really didn't need to do because the wind is after doing that for me. And then I gave it a final top coat of calcium chloride, which is preventing it kind of from freezing solid. I have a Duke 550 in the hole, so it's a pretty strong trap that should come up through a little bit of a layer of crust, but it is waxed. But we'll see. We'll see how it does. See, all the tracks that me and Storage left here yesterday, they're covered. Even my truck tracks are almost all covered. But there's not much snow left on the ground here, but it's pretty frozen solid. Don't let the bluebird skies on the sun fool you. It's not as cold as it was yesterday, but it's still cold. Less wind today, which I'm thankful for. I did see fresh fox tracks today. That's where I put that other cable set there, the cable restraint. So we'll leave that here for a few days and see what goes on. Even if I don't, I'd really like to catch a coyote, and I think I already did in that chew out. I'm pretty sure that was a coyote. But coyote is what we're after. I'd like to see one really. I'd really like to catch a coyote bad. But I'll take a fox too if he comes along. I haven't caught any fox. Yesterday was our first fox I caught all season. I was plagued by coons in my earlier season with my canine traps. We had a lot of rain and I was just plagued by dryland coons. It's going to be virtually impossible for me to see tracks in the snow because it's so hard that then they're not going to leave any tracks. The animals just walking on top, it just barely leave a little print in it. They're not heavy enough. But if the sun stays out like this and, we get a couple degree rise in temperature, it'll get soft again and I'll be able to see tracks again. I can see tracks in some of the areas where the snow is a little softer, where around the trees where it's shielded from the wind. All right, let's be on our way and we'll leave those sit and see what happens. Okay, back at the truck, I'll show you the baits I used here. The final step, Sawmill Creek. Like I said, skunk odor in this one. You can definitely smell it when you open the jar, so it's a good winter bait. Then we had Murray's Fox Call number 200. That's a mix of gland lure. And these lures are going to attract coyote, fox, and or bobcat. We have the old standby, the Caven's Gusto. And don't tell my wife I was handling this with my bare hands. And then we have Joe Young's bait and lure, the K1. I've used this before. I've only caught coons with it yet, but like I said, I can't catch a fox with it if the coon is already in the set. I do have a lure here that Joe Young sent me. It's aptly named Agent Orange. Now you can see it's in a little foil bag here. That's because when you open this bag, even in my box, you can see how I have the lure stored here. They're in an ammo box, like a sealed box. When you open this bag, it's like a skunk just sprayed you. And you can see the color of it. It's orangey, yellowy, just like pure 100% skunk essence. Probably got a little bit of glycerin in there. So this is like last resort. If that set sits for a week, I'm gonna put a couple of dabs of this on it. The Nuclear Agent Orange. Let's see how that goes. I'm sure it's so powerful it actually probably acts like Agent Orange and will kill anything you put it on. So those are the lures that were used there. Shout out to all those guys for sponsoring that trapping giveaway. It's always nice to support companies that support trapping. That's what it's all about, help each other out. I also had some of Matt Brophy's Triple Slam. Epler Triple Slam. Can you see that there? Right there. Bow. I wrote it on the jar there. I have all my baits. You see the numbers on the baits? Can you see it? No, wait. There, when the sun is not shining into it. Right there. This is number 3. Joe Young had sent me a trapper's log. So what I've been doing is recording all my catches, my lures that I used at particular sets, what I caught, the date I caught them, what the weather conditions were like on the trapper's log. So hopefully, for next season I can look at it and see what I caught where, and it gives me some useful information. Okay, we're gonna let these traps do what they're supposed to do and hopefully catch something this week. I'll be checking them back again early morning before work, and we'll see what happens.